Live streaming now. All right. Hopefully everyone's having a great day. I think we got everything set up. I'm going to do a quick sound check. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right. Hopefully everyone's having a great. It looks like we got everything cooking right now, and I'm going to go live on TikTok now, and we're going to get started. So let's look and see what's going on with Bitcoin. I finally figured out the stream and everything with that regard. So let's see what's going on here in the markets. Right now, Bitcoin is coming in at $66,732. The Fear and Greed Index is currently sitting at 11. Yesterday we were at 8. Last week we were sitting at 11, same place where we are right now. And then if you look at last month, we were sitting at 14. And then at one point, just over a month ago, I think we got down all the way to 5. That is the lowest I've ever seen the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. So right now, that's kind of the situation that we have. If we scroll down, we can see that anytime you really get up around 8, you get a bounce, and that's also always been the low if you pair it with price action. So, I guess this is going to be a better chart. 2019, you got down to 13. That was the bear market low. Here, you got down to 2021. You got down to 26. That's not that low, I guess. So that's just something to look at. I do look at this a few times a week because usually whenever you're around 10 or lower, I say, not financial advice, but I do say that it's a good time to accumulate more crypto, more Bitcoin specifically. I don't really accumulate many other things. So I would say most of what I buy is Bitcoin related, or just Bitcoin in general, I should say. So if you guys have requests throughout the live stream, let me know in the comment section below. If you guys are new, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification if you're watching on YouTube so you get notified every time I post a video. Also, we do have a Telegram group. Link to join that is in the description below on TikTok and YouTube. And that's basically where I tell you when I go live and all that stuff. So that's a great thing to join as well. Okay, so with that being said, let's go over and look at the price of Bitcoin. I did just take a long here on Bitcoin because I saw it in a flag. You're below the 200, so it's a little bit of a high-risk trade, but I did take a long here on the 15-minute time frame for Bitcoin. So let me start on the daily time frame market. I'll even start on the weekly time frame and kind of work our way down. So I still am projecting this to be a bear flag for Bitcoin. That's just kind of what I'm projecting. And that still has a measure move of about $40,000. That would take a long time, most likely, to get there. I don't think if we go down to $40,000, that's going to happen all at once. But it's on the table, and it's been on the table for a while now for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin really needs to get a strong bounce here on the monthly candle close, which happens tonight. And you're very oversold on the monthly. So if you just look at the monthly alone, you would think, hey, we should bounce. But so far, it's not happening. And we also this monthly candle that we're in currently just flipped back to the red. And I don't talk about the monthly candle very often, but it doesn't look good. 2-week chart, still oversold, not really getting the bounce. Weekly chart, try to get the bounce, but in my opinion, it's failing miserably right now. So at this point, it looks pretty bad, and that's a bearish engulfing candle now on the 6-day time frame. You still have 10 hours left in that. So to me, the 6-day time frame also looks very bad for a continuation to the downside. The 5-day also looks like you want to go lower. So I'll be honest with you, it looks like we are headed lower. 4-day doesn't look good either. If we jump down to the 3-day, you're below the 200 on all of these time frames. 3-day looks bearish. That's a bad candle. The 2-day looks bearish. That's a bullish engulfing candle on the 2-day, but you still have 10 hours to close, and so far it doesn't look great. The daily time frame right now, these are not bullish engulfing. They're trying to get the bounce off of the low at 64.6 or whatever. The 64.9 was the low, I believe, 2 days ago on Sunday. If we look at the 12-hour time frame, if anything, I see this as a bear flag about to dump. So even the 12-hour time frame to me looks pretty bad. And you look at the 8-hour time frame. 8-hour time frame is below the 200, about to make a lower high on the stock RSI, and it looks like you're going to continue lower. So I'm just going to draw this out here. And today I am in a smaller time frame long, but it doesn't mean we're going to pump. So right now, the measured move here for Bitcoin on the 8-hour bear flag, if we were to take this to the downside, would be about $61,265. That is a major move on the 8-hour time frame bear flag. If we look at the 6-hour, you can see the 6-hour is completely overbought. You're still below the 200-day moving average. That is bearish. And then you look at the 4-hour. 4 hours below the 200 and a bear flag as well. And I see this also most likely rolling over. So, you know, I looked the other day. It didn't look horrible. But at this point, I see a move back down to 61.4. And I said on Sunday or whenever it was Saturday, I see a move coming to 65K. That did happen on Sunday. Barely, but it did happen. We went down to 64.9. So that's kind of what happened with that. 3-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour time frame below the 200. So I would just keep it pretty simple. If we stay below the 1-hour 200, sitting at 68.4, I don't see any. We're just gonna go lower. So, and then that brings me to my long I did take on the 15, which is starting to look more and more sketchy. But you still greened out on the 15, so I did take this. I kind of front-ran the fact that we would get above the 200-day moving average on the 15-minute time frame. I'll be honest with you, 30-minute looks okay to me, but it doesn't look great. This is a higher risk long because you're still below the 200-day moving average. Not only on the half-hour, but also on the 15-minute time frame. So we'll see what happens. This could easily dump in my face. My stop loss is down here. My take profit is like 68K, I think. So we'll see what happens. That also brings me to something else I want to go over. The other thing that I want to show you is Bookmap. Bookmap basically shows you where all of the liquidity is sitting on Bitcoin. Right now, you have a lot of liquidity where we are right now. I see, you know, maybe a little bit right above us. I see 67,000. But in general, if you just zoom out, I still see the biggest dump and blop of liquidity at 65,000. So I'd be surprised if we don't go back down to $65,000 here. And that would kind of not be good for my long. But it just depends. That doesn't mean it happens today. That has been sitting there ever since the dump on Sunday down to 65K. And it stayed there after the dump. So they didn't, you know, we hit liquidity, but they didn't take it out. So to me, at this point, it seems most likely that within a few days, I would assume we roll back over, go down to 65,000. So the long I took was on the smaller time frames, but that doesn't mean we're not going to go down to 65K later this week. I just want you to be open-minded. Also, again, I'm still long on Bitcoin on the 50-minute time frame up to 67. No, my take profit is $67,555 on this. I would say it's even a scalp long on Bitcoin. I'm not expecting anything crazy, but like a move of $700 to $800 to the upside doesn't seem outrageous to me. So I did take a long here because I'm expecting us to get above the 200. So that's kind of my update for Bitcoin right now. I see a little bit of a move to the upside coming later today or maybe even right now, but it doesn't mean that I'm expecting a pump to 90K today. So we'll see what happens. You could also say, hey, the 1 minute's above the 200-day moving average. You could get a small pump here. So I can draw this, and we'll see throughout the live stream if this plays out. But at the end of the day, it's looking most likely. Though, I mean, I'll be honest, the 1 minute looks bullish to me. 1 minute says you could get up to about 67.8, but we'll see if that happens. I think it could later today, but I don't, you know. The biggest level you really have to get above to be bullish on the higher time frames is about that 68.4 level. If you don't break $68,400, you can't really be bullish on anything above the 1 hour time frame, I would say. And that's just how I see it. So, if you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know in the comment section below. Appreciate if you guys hit the likes. It does help support the live stream. But that's kind of what I see going on. So, I see a small pump coming to the upside for Bitcoin. Maybe close to 68K today. But the fact is, are we going to break 68.4? I'm not calling for that yet, but I'm calling for a move to close to 68K. Back to at least the top of this channel. If not, actually, probably even above it a little bit. So we'll see. I'm calling for a move to about 67.5. We'll see if we actually get that follow through. So, with that being said, that's kind of my update for Bitcoin. It doesn't look fantastic at all, but I could see a pump coming. We'll see. It still doesn't look great. As far as anything else is concerned, I'm out of the Trump short. Yeah, Trump at this point looks sketchy to me. If you lose the 200-day moving average on the 33-minute time frame again, I'd probably enter another Trump short. For right now, I'm not in a position on Trump because it's just chop right now. That's not, you know, if anything, that looks like it's going to be a lower high. So let's see what happens. But I see more down. I don't know. I'm just not going to be in a Trump trade until I see more of a good move, a clear direction. So that's kind of my update right now on that. I do want to also go talk about oil because oil has been really getting a bounce to the upside. And if you're if you drive a car, it's not a good thing because that means that you're going to be paying higher gas prices. Oil just crossed for the first time in a while. Thank you for the likes. Just crossed over $100. We're live on YouTube as well. It just crossed over $100, and it's staying above it. Yesterday, when we closed the daily candle above $100, that's the first time since 2022 where we closed the candle above $100 and stayed above it on the daily candle close. So that's the first time in 4 years we've closed a daily candle above $100 on U.S. oil, and that is not good. That means if gas prices in your area are already $3.7 or something like that, like they are in the Midwest, that means they're probably approaching $4 by the end of the week. I'm sorry to tell you that I hate that. I drive a car too, and I don't like this. It makes me tempted to go buy a Prius, but until gas prices really get above $4 and stay above $4, I don't know if I'll really do that. I don't want to drive a Prius, but I mean, if gas prices continue to climb, and I don't see any end in sight for the war, if that continues to happen, if we continue to go up on oil, maybe I will do that. We'll see. But oil right now, it looks like you want to continue higher. I would say short term, I could see a pullback. But it looks like you're gonna continue higher here on the higher time frame. So and then I look at the daily time frame for oil, and to me, this is like an ascending triangle, and these break up 70% of the time or so. And your measure move would be. So I know you can trade oil on MEXC. That would take you right to the all-time high oil, which is $147. So I'll make that purple just so we know. And and I also see a little resistance at 134. But honestly, I think the biggest major resistance now, if you stay above $100, is 147. And you haven't been above these levels for a while. So in all reality, you went straight up last time you had that rally back in 2022. So I'd be surprised if you really get stuck for very long at 134. Most likely, if you stay above 100, we're going to go to 147. But it's just the unfortunate truth of what's going on for oil. And again, if oil goes up 50%, gas prices are going to be $5 or $6 a gallon in the Midwest. That's insane. We don't need that. And then I can only imagine how much they'd be in California. They'd probably be above $10 a gallon, which that's no one. Even if you make a lot of money in California, that's not sustainable for anyone. So. Or maybe they'd be a little less than $10 a gallon, but they'd be close. They'd be $8, $9 a gallon probably. So we don't need that. I don't want that. I hope the war ends and we can just be done with all this. But I gotta be honest, I don't see that happening. And then also, I just saw this now. Also on the 4-hour time frame for oil, I see like a little bit of a bull flag. So I would say if oil stays above the price of let's say $99. If we stay above $99 on oil on the 4-hour, that means we most likely are just going to continue higher to at least 122. That'd be the highest price we've seen since 2022. I think a few weeks ago we were at 110. No, maybe even 120. Let me just zoom out. We got up to 119. So yeah, if we get up to 120 or above, that'd be the highest price we've been at since basically late 2022. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that at all. So yeah, that's kind of my update, guys, on oil. It's kind of my update, guys, on the entire market. It just looks more bearish than bullish to me, and it looks like we are going to take a dump. I'm sorry. It looks like oil's going to keep pumping, and I could see Bitcoin getting a pullback back to 65,000. Let's go back to the 1-minute time frame on Bitcoin. 1-minute time frame is starting to break out here on Bitcoin, and again, my take profit is at 555. We're about $500 away from that level. Just a little bit of a scalp this morning because I don't trust the market long term, but in the smaller time frames, Bitcoin looks like it did want to get that rip PC to the upside. So I'm going to quickly go through some of these altcoins, and I'm just going to, maybe more so for myself, just see what we got going on in the market. So I'm going to get rid of the 200-day smooth moving average, and we're going to see. So to me, power right now, that's not a trade I can take. River looks very bullish to me. Wow, River could be the play of the day. That's a flag on River, and that's a bull flag on River that could pump higher. I would even say the flag started all the way down there, and then you would take it from right there, and you could say River's going back to $22, $22.50 maybe. So River would be on my radar for the rest of today. Trump, no, not really. I would say the most likely scenario for Trump is that you kind of roll over here, and if you roll over to the downside, I could take a short with a stop loss above the 200, sitting on the 33-minute would be around 298. That seems like the most likely scenario. Maybe like Trump later today does that. Otherwise, I'm not into trade on Trump. Adam right now looks sketchy. Jasmine looks sketchy. I kind of want to take trades on the smaller time frames, like the half hour or less, because to me, the market on the higher time frames doesn't look fantastic. So honestly, the only trade I see in an altcoin that looks halfway decent would be River, and that could take you up to about $22. Well, I mean, I would probably take profits a little bit early and just say $22 would be my target for River. And then my stop loss on this trade, if I took it, would be $16.60, and that's kind of that'd be my idea on River for a long. This is not financial advice, but that's just what I see going on in the market. I would say the trend's revenge to the end right now. The trend to the upside is to the upside here on River, at least on the local time frames, like the 33-minute. So that's what I see going on. I see River probably pumping, especially if Bitcoin gets that small move to the upside, like I'm projecting, up to about 67,555. So that's my update. That's the only trade I see in an altcoin besides Bitcoin. Besides the Bitcoin scalp long, I don't see any trades. I mean, like River would be my only altcoin long I'd be in. Again, stop loss would be around 16 to 1660, and that's my update for the market. So yeah, I think I might take this trade on River though in a little bit, especially if Bitcoin long hits, which it looks even more likely that we're gonna hit that. So we'll see what happens, but we're okay. I want to say we're live on YouTube and TikTok right now. I'm not quite sure why no one's watching me on TikTok or on YouTube. I know that we've had troubles the last few streams, but now it's all set up. The sound's working. I got the video all working. And the one thing that isn't working that I would like to figure out would be I would like to get my camera, my video capture device. Let's see if I can figure that out right now. There we go. Now is it working? With my video cam, let me see if it comes up here with my face cam. That'd be nice if it does. So yeah, that's kind of my update, guys, on the market. I'll be back live Saturday night. Until then, I hope you guys have a great one. This is just a quick morning market update. I still don't see my face. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Hopefully, maybe it'll come in a second. It seems like it's really delayed. Oh, there it is. Fantastic. Okay. So yeah, let's see what happens. But that's my update for the market. And now Bitcoin's... That's a red candle. Wow, this market has no love. You just got to move all the way up to 67,134. Now a $200 dump within a minute. So either way, I'm staying long on Bitcoin unless you lose 66k. So stop loss 66k. Take profit is basically 67.6. We'll see what happens. It's not a great setup, but I could see more upside. But it doesn't look great to me right now. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look great. Kind of in the middle. So that's kind of all I got. And I'm sorry that we don't have a better update for the market, but that's what I see. Oh, and just like that, they're ripping it back up. So I'm staying long. I'm gonna put my stop loss below the 1 minute 200. If you lose a 1 minute 200, which is coming at 66.6, I'll get out of the trade. For right now, I'm still in the long. So stop loss 66.6, take profit 67.6, and that's my update. Have a great morning, everyone. I'll see you guys on Saturday night. Adios.